nothing about the topic. Of course, it is way beyond my area of expertise, but I would say the title is slightly deceptive because I had the pleasure of going through the slides last evening. When we see the security code, we think of something very rigid, something like a code of conduct or something like cryptic. But actually, the approach, as I understand from the slides and also from the abstract, I'm sure some of you have read the abstract, it is not so much prescriptive. It is about a vision for this century's security. It is not about some labor code or some other cryptic thing. It is about the vision for this century.
I used to be the Director General, so we have had the pleasure of working together on various issues. A natural question that has been posed is why a security code? And that is the question that I'm going to answer today. The fundamental shift that has taken place in the domain of security, it brings us to the point that we need to have a new definition of security. So defining a new security code for the 21st century requires a fundamental shift in how we conceive of and address threats, moving beyond traditional state-centric, military-focused approaches to a more comprehensive, interconnected, and adaptive frameworks. It's a concept of security which is not only about borders, not only about tanks and guns, but it is a concept of total and comprehensive security. So, what is this new security code? As I said, it shifts from state-centric focus to a comprehensive, interconnected, and adaptive frameworks. A special emphasis here is about the fusion between technology and warfighting that changes the whole game of tactics, techniques, and strategy.
Israeli war, that it has taken us from the Star War days to the very modern, very sophisticated, but still a lot of human things are also involved in this. So this is where in fact he has raised a number of challenges, as well as in fact talked about what are the things that we need to think in terms of proactive, in terms of inclusive, adaptive, and also emphasize multi-domain aspects.
For security perception, it shouldn't be reactive, it must be proactive. If we take that in our perspective, may I ask you a question? Because you are in the sky, you have taken us there, and I will bring you to the ground. And that is, if we look at the micro level, what are the sources of security threat for Bangladesh, being a nation like ours? We have so many predicaments. While at this age, challenges are so much. If I may ask you this question, that what would be the security code and the best strategy for Bangladesh in ensuring its security?
I'm a non-security person. To me, security means I saw in the war when Iran starts bombing or sending missiles to Israel. I saw that people are taking shelter in the bunker. That is my security code. In case of war, going to the bunker is my security code. When you talked about the COVID-19, when COVID starts, I take medicine. That is my security code. And when hunger strikes, I look for food. That is my security code. Thing is that this is an integrated security approach you offered. And here both the traditional and also non-traditional security.
It's like USA, Israel, and Russia. But sir, talking from a realistic point of view for a country like Bangladesh, when can we actually be able to integrate these technologies within our military infrastructure? Sir, is it 2030, is it 2050 or 2080, or is it ever?
Bangladesh 2.0. I think one of the fundamental requirements is for us to have a comprehensive national security architecture, which is currently missing. We need a national security decision-making structure which would be able to incorporate all these issues and have our own solutions. And now when I talk about national security architecture, it's not just about military, but a whole of government or a whole of society approach to national security.
We were talking about the future of the world order and the need to challenge the logic of statecraft and the need to overcome the nation-state system in the way in which we have structured the international order today. Over all of these years, there has been no significant transition away from the logic of statecraft and the nation-state system, so that we can overcome precisely the problems we have as a result of advances in technology, all of which, as you're suggesting, for example, are now increasingly incorporated into command, control, communication systems, especially when it comes to military engagements.
Security for a nation or security as a whole has become actually a crucial factor. I see when question comes, even the banking sector, penetrating the banking sector, violating some security code or anything that, financial transactions and financial side of a country or a nation or an organization is also under threat. And I also understood it today through this presentation that the way our presenter, he articulately actually tried to differentiate the traditional versus the non-traditional warfare and the upcoming future, the future of the world, or even the world that we are living right now, how challenging that, well, war has gone to a point from a simple battlefield of human beings then when they are actually fighting each other, but we are talking about that without even being human being, that precision armament or precision warfare is actually using all sort of lethal and also many other advanced technologies in terms of winning the war game, and that has become crucial for even for a country like us. We are talking about that how prepared we are in a world that we are living where technology has advanced so far, and anytime, every time, if we want to ensure the security of our nation, how we are going to address those causes. And General Muniruzzaman has already mentioned that we don't have a defense policy, nor even we have after even the liberation that we got 50 and more years, yet we do not know that what is our national security policy, and are we being a nation, are we actually knowing that what are the security threats for a country like Bangladesh, both state-wise and all, that what are the neighboring states or the geography that we are living, what are the threats, how we are going to actually block or also address those things. We are not ready actually.